Battlefield Open Beta is only days away, my friends, and recently we got a couple of updates from Battlefield, which is kind of weird to say. They basically came out and discussed fair play, treating players with respect and all that good stuff, but the main thing that stood out to everyone in the comments they made was about cheating. Now, this was a big concern and still is for a lot of players. We've talked about the data that was stolen from EA that can and probably will directly influence Battlefield 2042. Lots of reports on how there are already cheats available for 2042 and how players are not looking forward to having to deal with another Warzone situation. A lot of this fear is steeped in months of abuse from hackers in Call of Duty, and that's fair. A lot of people quit playing Warzone because of it. Big streamers on all platforms seem to slowly move away from Warzone into other games like Apex Legends. No doubt that you've seen or heard of this, and it's a big deal. In one of my previous videos, I talked about the anti-cheat Battlefield 2042 will be using, and if it will be enough to stop the hungry crowd of ravenous hackers just waiting to boot up their game and start wiping lobbies. We find the answer in the statements recently released by Battlefield, and I gotta say, it sounds nice. Not sure if it's gonna work, but it seems like this is a big priority for them. It tells me that they've been listening, and that's a good step. I also noticed that the main Battlefield influencers and game changers pushed out content on the subject pretty much at the exact same time. Now, this could be because we aren't used to having this kind of communication from Battlefield, but I like to think that Battlefield really wanted to push this home with its player base. Make content on this and highlight what we're doing to solve this problem sort of thing. If I was Battlefield, that's exactly what I would do. Either way, the content here is pretty good. They start with talking about positive play, and they list a few things like you're able to block or unblock players in-game, ensuring they cannot receive messages or voice chat with you. Now, that doesn't mean you can't play with them. I'm looking for that permanent block button so I don't have to get matched up with them. That's the main thing that I was looking for. Text profanity filter is always going to be activated. The option to mute in-game text or chat is available. You can report player directly from in-game. You don't need to tab out. Now, reporting from in-game is huge, and I'll get to why in just a second. They go on to talk about how Portal will have some advanced admin tools allowing you to completely ban players persistently. And once you ban them, you'll never see them again. Now, we've known about this feature for a while, and I even made a video about it a while back. I said it was the best form of anti-cheat at the time because we get to choose who we play with. Battlefield knows that there's going to be cheaters. They're not stupid. And they address this in the Keep Things Fair tab, and it says, don't cheat, don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. Cheating includes using exploits, undocumented features, design errors, bugs, or other problems that unfairly give you a leg up on your opponent. Fair play is an essential part of maintaining the enjoyability of the Battlefield experience. Don't be the person who ruins everyone's day. And they don't stop at cheating. They go on to talk about blackmailing, doxing, drug use, extorting, fraud, gambling, all that stuff. And that's all fine and dandy. But as far as cheating goes, how is that statement supposed to scare anyone away from turning on wall hacks and shredding everyone? I mean, who cares? Apex has a hacker problem right now, and it's in the same condition Battlefield 2042 will be in, since it also uses easy anti-cheat, which is the anti-cheat of choice for Battlefield 2042. What does it matter? Well, what I'm about to read not only pertains to cheating, but any of the other offenses listed, the consequences. I'm just going to paraphrase here. It talks about there being short-term bans in the beginning if you violate these things. If you continue to violate them, they'll move to permanent bans. If you have a repeat or severe instance, we may permanently terminate your account. This includes all of your EA accounts if you have more than one account. When your EA account is terminated, you will lose your username and access to the account. If you think the action taken against you is by mistake, let us know. So it sounds like they aren't going to be tolerating misbehavior in the game, and I love to hear that. Starts off with slaps on the wrist and ends with a gut punch, and this is what I want to hear from Battlefield. Don't come in here with your bullshit and expect to get away with it. Now, is this just tough talk, or are they serious? I mean, they sound serious. They actively made it a point to put in an easy-to-use reporting system. They talk about how they will handle these reports, and they'll update you by email if your report actually results in a ban for somebody who was cheating. I mean, I remember I did get one of these back from Warzone a long time ago, and I actually couldn't believe it. I only got the one though, so it didn't seem to stick. I haven't kept up with Warzone Twitter enough to know if they follow the same steps, but I hope that these remarks and active use of the new reporting system are enough to persuade people not to hack, which could be a far cry from reality. I mean, imagine being a longtime Battlefield fan and you decide to cheat in Battlefield 2042. You're running the risk of losing everything. And this isn't Warzone. You may make a new account, but you ain't buying another copy of 2042. I mean, that's just a fat waste of money when you could have just played fairly for free. Well, not for free, but you get what I'm saying. And don't get me started on Portal. You can pretty much just forget about it. You get persistently banned and reported to hell. So that's settled. Battlefield knows that this problem can kill any chance they have at being a success or not. And I say that because there's a giant cheater shadow over this whole thing. And if it gets out of hand right out of the gate, people might as well just go back to Warzone, who will by then have a new anti-cheat system and a new map. And this new anti-cheat is supposed to do some crazy damage to cheaters, apparently. The delay Battlefield put out could potentially be their downfall if cheaters are out of control. And I think that they know this. I love the comms being open. We've seen more tweets from Battlefield in the last few days than we have in the last month. I'm fully back on the hype train. So now that I know that these reports are going to be looked at, I can go into game and report a cheater without feeling like it does nothing. The players don't want them. Battlefield doesn't want them. So I hope that with us doing our part, and more importantly, Battlefield doing theirs, we won't end up with another Warzone on our hands. Now comes my concern, Hazard Zone. It's rumored to be free to play, not confirmed, just rumored. I think a free-to-play mode makes sense. I think that it will blast Battlefield to #1 if they get it right. But the problem that haunts me is, how are you going to handle cheaters on a free-to-play game mode if it's proven to be true? From a business standpoint, the following things need to happen. They need to delay Hazard Zone until the first of the year, and they need to take all the data regarding cheaters and how they crack the anti-cheat code and come up with some solution to people making multiple accounts. Anyone can make a burner account with a free-to-play game, and that's Warzone's main problem. It's a problem because it's free to play. I don't have an answer for this. I'm not in the industry. I'm just letting my opinions fly here. But that should be a focus if Hazard Zone is free to play, which I think it should be, honestly. There's a lot of benefits that can come from Hazard Zone being free to play. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be fun. It's going to get new players into Battlefield who then go, man, this is pretty fun. Maybe I just want to buy the whole thing and experience the whole thing. You know, there's a lot of ways you could benefit from a game mode being free to play. Now, in regards to my comment about delay for Hazard Zone, they should delay it for two reasons. Number one, collect the data. I mentioned that already. And number two, the shock and awe of this game mode is going to be overshadowed by an already established and mainstreamed game that is Warzone. Warzone will not only have a new map, but it will have a new anti-cheat in November. We all know this. Battlefield will then be in direct competition with Warzone, and more specifically, Hazard Zone will be in direct competition. No matter how much potential or how good the game mode can be, I don't believe it will have as hard of an impact or effect as it would have if it released in its original time frame. I realized they needed more time with the game, and that's perfectly fine, but October was the perfect time to strike. The iron is hot right now, and it's only going to cool down after Warzone's update comes out. Now, there could be scarred people who are just never going back to it. That is definitely, there's a lot of factors in here that I'm not covering, but I'm just generalizing. With the delay, they can keep the polish up and the bugs down, because there's going to be bugs. I want to play Hazard Zone day one, but not if it's a buggy mess. And I personally think 2042 might be a buggy mess when it does launch, just based off of past launches. They all had problems, big ones. So maybe I'm wrong, and I hope that I am. Also, on a side note, just quick side note, the mouse and keyboard support for consoles are not going to be a thing at launch. A lot of people were wondering about it, and Battlefield answered. So there you go. The open beta is very soon, and they will have anti-cheat up and going, and this will be the true test to see what kind of a launch we're going to have. So keep an eye out on what people are saying. Play the game for yourself if you can. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on a Hazard Zone delay. Do you think Battlefield has cheaters shaking in their boots, or are they going to get absolutely creamed by them? Would you be willing to wait for Hazard Zone? Would you be upset? Would you be pissed off? Or would you be okay with it? Personally, I don't want to wait. I want to play Hazard Zone day one. I want to get in there. But again, if it can be made better and we can be held over with content coming from the main game mode, I'd be okay with that too. We also have Portal. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. If you like this video, hit the like button. If not, a dislike. Hit subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.